If you've run into the Premiere Pro error retrieving frame message while exporting, you're definitely not alone. This is one of those frustrating export problems that can stop your project at the very end, even when everything looks fine in the timeline. The good news is that in most cases, this issue can be fixed with a few smart troubleshooting steps, and in this video, I'll walk you through them one by one so you can get your export working again as quickly as possible. Before we jump in, if this tutorial helps you out, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Premiere Pro fixes, editing tips, and beginner-friendly software tutorials. First, let's talk about why this happens. The error retrieving frame message usually appears when Premiere Pro has trouble processing a specific frame. That can happen because of a corrupted media cache, a mismatch between your sequence and export settings, a temporary loading issue, or even a graphics-related problem. So instead of guessing, we're going to work through the most effective fixes in a logical order. Start by clearing your media cache. Inside Premiere Pro, go to your preferences or settings, then find the media cache section and clear it out. Over time, cache files can become damaged or outdated, and those temporary files can interfere with exporting. Clearing the cache gives Premiere a fresh start and often solves random frame retrieval problems immediately. Next, try waiting a moment before exporting. This may sound simple, but it matters. After opening Premiere Pro, give your footage time to fully load before sending anything to Media Encoder or starting the export process. If the app is still catching up, some frames may not be ready yet, which can trigger this error. A short pause can sometimes make the difference between a failed export and a successful one. Another important step is to keep Premiere Pro open until the export officially starts inside Media Encoder. If you send the project to Media Encoder and close Premiere too early, the connection to the project can become unstable, so let the export process begin fully before closing anything. In some cases, keeping both programs open until the export completes can help prevent frame access errors. If Media Encoder is still giving you trouble, try exporting directly from Premiere Pro instead of going through Media Encoder. Go to File, then Export, and use the built-in export panel. Sometimes the issue is not the timeline itself, but the handoff between Premiere and Media Encoder. Exporting directly can bypass that problem and get your file out without the error. If the problem continues, force your media connection to refresh by relinking the files. You can temporarily make the source media offline, then relink it back to the correct files. This helps Premiere re-establish the connection to your footage and can fix problems caused by a broken link or a confused media reference. Now check your frame rates carefully. One very common cause of export errors is a mismatch between the source footage, the sequence settings, and the export settings. If your clips are 30 frames per second, but your sequence is set differently, or if your export settings don't match the timeline, Premiere can struggle with certain frames. Make sure your sequence frame rate matches your footage as closely as possible, especially if you're working with mixed camera sources. If those software fixes don't solve it, move on to the technical workarounds. One of the best things you can do is switch to software encoding. In the export window, look under the video encoding settings and change performance from hardware encoding to software encoding. Hardware encoding can be faster, but it can also trigger frame-related errors on some systems. Software encoding is slower, but it is often much more stable. You should also change the project renderer. Go to File, then Project Settings, then General, and set the renderer to Mercury Playback Engine software only. This tells Premiere to avoid using GPU acceleration for playback and rendering. If your graphics card or driver is causing the issue, switching to software-only mode can immediately improve stability and stop the error from appearing. If Premiere gives you a specific timecode where the error happens, that's a huge clue. Go to that exact point in the timeline and inspect the clips there. Often, the bad frame is tied to one specific layer, effect, transition, or corrupted segment. A great workaround here is to right-click the section and choose Nest. Nesting creates a new container for the clips and can force Premiere to render that area more cleanly, which may bypass the faulty frame. And don't forget to update your graphics drivers. For Premiere Pro, studio drivers are usually the better choice compared to game-ready drivers because they're designed for creative software stability. An outdated or unstable driver can cause export problems, frame retrieval failures, and random crashes. After updating, restart your computer and test the export again. If you go through these steps in order, there's a very good chance you'll fix the Premiere Pro error retrieving frame issue without having to rebuild your whole project. Start with cache and export settings, then move into relinking, frame rates, encoding, renderer settings, and driver updates if needed. I hope this video helped you solve the export problem. If it did, Please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next Premiere Pro troubleshooting guide. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.